What if the problem isn't that we don't reach our goals, but that we've built our entire lives around the wrong thing? Think about it. Most of us wake up every day chasing something. The next milestone, the next win, the next number that's supposed to finally make us feel successful. And every time we hit one goal, we barely stop to breathe before we set another. We just keep running, hoping the next finish line will finally give us the feeling we've been missing. But when we don't reach those goals, when life slows down or things don't go our way, frustration hits. Our self-worth drops. We feel behind, unmotivated, sometimes even burn out. And that's because we've tied your identity, your happiness, and your direction to something that constantly moves. So maybe the issue isn't the goal themselves, but what we allow them to become in our lives. We all do this, every single one of us. Goals give us something to aim at, a direction to point your energy toward. They feel productive, meaningful, even necessary. And that's why we build our entire lives around them. But here's the part we don't like to talk about. Goals can also blind us, not because they are bad, but because of what we turn them into. We end up trying your happiness, or self-worth, even your identity to some numbers of or milestone in the future. And we start saying things like, when I reach these many subscribers, then I finally feel confident. When I earn this amount every month, then I'll relax. When I achieve this goal, then my life will finally make sense. But here's the reality. When we finally reach that milestone, the moment feels good, but only for a very short time. That little dopamine hit fades almost instantly, and the second it's gone, our brain starts searching for the next target to chase. So we set a new goal, and another, and suddenly we are not living anymore. We are just sprinting from one finish line to the next, hoping each one will finally give us the feeling we've been chasing. This is the trap. Short bursts of satisfaction followed by long stretches of emptiness. A constant cycle of almost there but never really arriving. Because when your joy is always tied to the next goal, you never feel at peace with where you are. You never feel enough. You never feel finished. And that's why this endless chase leaves so many people frustrated, burnt out, or constantly feeling behind. Not because they're failing, but because they're measuring everything by a moving target. If this kind of content speaks to you, hit that subscribe button so we can keep walking this path together. And if you want to support the channel, you'll find the links in the description. Every bit of support helps me keep building this journey. At some point, you have to step back and ask yourself, what exactly am I building my life on? Because goals are useful. We need them. They give direction, momentum, and something to work toward. But without values, they are just arrows pointing into the fog. Values are different. Values don't move. Values don't disappear the moment you reach them. They are stable points in a life that's constantly shifting. The parts of you that stay true even when circumstances change. Honesty, perseverance, integrity, faith, responsibility, service. These aren't achievements. These aren't milestones you check off once and forget. They're foundations. When your life is built on values, your goals stop being your identity. They become tools. And that changes everything. Because a goal can fail, a goal can shift, a goal can take longer than expected. But your values don't collapse when life gets hard. They actually get stronger. You stop saying, I am successful only if I hit this number, and start saying, I am successful because I'm showing up with the values I believe in. That's a completely different mindset. It means you can pursue big goals without letting them define your worth. It means you can fail at a goal without feeling like you are the failure. It means your direction comes from who you are, not from what you're chasing. And honestly, that's what gives you a real stability. Not perfect results, not constant achievement, but the quiet consistency of knowing why you do what you do and what kind of person you're becoming along the way. When goals fade, values remain. That's what keeps you grounded. For a long time, I lived the other way. Everything in my life was tied to a goals, numbers, milestones, deadlines, achievements. If I hit them, I felt good for a moment. And if I didn't, I felt like I was failing as a person. It was exhausting. Not because the work was hard, but because my identity depended on results I couldn't always control. Every day felt like a test I had to pass. Every setback felt personal, and the pressure never stopped. But things started to change the moment I stopped building my life around goals and started building it around values. When I shifted my focus from what do I want to achieve to what do I want to be while I'm working toward it, the entire experience became different. I found more peace, more focus, less self-criticism. I wasn't waking up to chase a number. I was waking up to practice perseverance, honesty, discipline, responsibility. And suddenly, even on the days when the results didn't move, I still felt like I was moving. That's something goals will never give you. Goals can motivate you, but they can also crush you. Values, on the other hand, they anchor you. They give you stability when everything else feels uncertain. They remind you that your worth isn't measured by your achievements, but by the character you build in the process. When you live by values, you don't need the perfect results to feel grounded. You already know who you are becoming. If this resonates with you, subscribe and stay connected. I am sharing this journey one step at a time. And if you feel like supporting the channel, the links are in the description. It truly means a lot. Goals come and go. They rise, they fall, they replaced, rewritten, forgotten. Sometimes they push us forward, sometimes they bury us under pressure we weren't ready for. But value, your values, they are the one part of your life that doesn't shift with circumstances. They don't depend on how much money you made this month. They don't disappear when a plan falls apart. They don't crumble when you hit a setback or when life forces you to slow down. Values build the person behind the goals. They shape how you handle success with humility, gratitude, responsibility. And they shape how you handle failure with patience, resilience, and clarity. When you build your life around values, something subtle but powerful changes. Your worth no longer rises and falls with your progress. Your confidence no longer depends on numbers. Your direction is no longer determined by pressure or comparison or the fear of falling behind. You begin to measure your days differently. Not by how many boxes you checked, but by how you showed up, what you practiced, who you were becoming. And suddenly, even the small steps matter. Even the slow days matter. Even the days when nothing moves forward on paper still count because you moved forward. That's the real measure of growth, not the goals you hit, but the character you're building on the way. Not what you achieved today, but the values you refused to compromise. And not how fast you go somewhere, but how true you stayed to the person you want to become. So, I want to ask you something. What value guide your life right now? Just one word. Drop it in the comments because your value might be the reminder someone else needs today. And if you want to keep going with this mindset shift, I really recommend watching my video Stop Comparing, Focus on Your Own Growth. It's the perfect follow-up if you're trying to refocus on what truly matters and build a version of freedom that actually feels honest, grounded, and sustainable. Thanks for being here, for thinking differently, and for taking the time to build something real. Thanks for watching. I am Oscar, and this is Building Freedom on Camera. See you in the next video.